Listeners, welcome to the show today. Now or never, the choice is yours. It is March 30th. I cannot believe this year is flying by. And today's guest is Deborah Wiener. How are you doing today, Deborah?
Oh, I'm doing great, Karen. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be on your show today.
Well, I know my listeners are going to be in for a treat. Today's show title is called Real Estate Magic. We each have the power to create beauty around us, the places where we live and work, most especially. We can bring peace and value into our environment as we consider the properties we buy and spend time in. Today, Deborah Wiener will talk to us about energetic business feng shui as it relates to real estate and the art of creating beautiful environments you've never want to leave. And I'm so excited about this because everyone probably knows that I am in real estate here where I live in Ogden, Utah. And so Deborah was on my show, February?
Yes.
February.
Yes.
And I did a little consultation with her, and she helped me set up my room and add color into it, my office space, things like that. And so it's been kind of exciting. I want to share some of the things that have happened with that.
Okay.
Since we did that. As we begin the show, listeners, you know, I always love to get grounded and invite you to join Deborah and I as we close our eyes and cross your feet and cross your hands and just sit for a moment, taking a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Another deep breath in and out through your mouth. Allowing yourself just to be, letting your thoughts release and being in the moment. Another deep breath in and release. I invite you to put your hands up around your shoulder like you're giving yourself a big hug and repeat this affirmation. I am worthy of my love 3 times. I am worthy of my love. I am worthy of my love. I am worthy of my love. Another deep breath in and release. And then tapping 3 times in your chest, repeating the word accept, 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 accept. Another deep breath in and releasing. Listeners, I hope you take the time to do that with Deborah and I this morning. It's always important to breathe, to be grounded, to be in the moment, to be in the now. This is what life is all about in my perspective. It's part of my truth, living in the moment, enjoying the things, the simple things around us. Take another deep breath in and releasing. And slowly opening your eyes and coming back to us. Each week, I enjoy my affirmations. Affirmations are a very powerful tool that I've used in my life since probably 8 years ago, since I went through my divorce and just rediscovering me and healing my soul and healing myself. And I invite you to get your sticky notes out, listeners, and write down this affirmation for today's show. As I read the affirmation, Deborah, I always invite my guests, leaning in with your heart, to answer what comes to your mind as I read the affirmation. And I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but that's what I love to do. So, listeners, here's the affirmation. It says, I live my truth. I live my truth. So as I read that, Deb, what came to your mind when I I live my truth.
Well, Karen, I've been leading up to this this moment, this aspiration, because that is what I am doing now, presently. I am living my truth, and I am listening to my truth. I have learned along my journey that the truth is within us. All the answers are within ourselves. I used to seek answers without outside myself. Didn't understand that I knew the answers myself. But I would listen to everyone else's answers, which actually they didn't work for me. So I learned through the painful process that I live my truth.
I love that. And I enjoy putting, yes, I live my truth now. I love putting yes in front of my affirmation. And now at the very end, I had another guest, Gwen Leopard, she was on, and she's an energy person. And she goes, when I do my affirmations, I always put yes in front of it and now at the end. And I thought, how powerful is that? And so I love adding that to the affirmation. So listeners, I live my truth. Yes, I live my truth now. The moment is now to act upon it. Deborah, I enjoyed what you said, because it's very important. I think as humans, we're always trying to get other people's opinions or what they think about situations. And I know in your energetic field, as you do the feng shui, you have come up with systems, and we talk about the human design and other success systems to design in your business and for business. And you created a whole thing called A+ Team. And I would love you just kind of give a little bit outline for my listeners. I can totally read your bio, but I want you to speak with your heart about who Deborah is and what you have accomplished. And during COVID-19, you went through a time where, you grew your business 88%, which during that time, people were laying off other employees. It was a time that people were suffering, but yet you found a light and you followed it. So I would love you to share with your listeners a little bit about yourself.
Okay, thank you, Karen. And again, I'm so happy to be on your TV show today.
Me too.
And with all of our listeners. But first, for now, I would like to share a story. The power of system I created called Energetic Business Feng Shui is best illustrated by client stories, how it works in the real world. And these stories inform real estate agents, buyers, and sellers about how energetic business feng shui can help their properties sell faster, easier, and for more money. So walk with me toward this riverfront property. Okay. Your dream home? It was a nightmare. What a mess. Water damage everywhere. Come with me up these rickety old steps to the porch that's almost non-existent. Don't let your foot fall through. Spooky, dark energy hung in the air like fog. This once beautiful riverside property was on the market for 9 months with no offers. Mr. and Mr. Kravitz lived there for 40 years. And sadly, Mr. Kravitz died in the house and didn't want to leave his wife. Have you ever felt the presence of someone and there was no one there? He was earthbound. And I comforted him and let him know that his wife was safe and that she wanted him to be free. So I escorted him lovingly to the light. And consequently, without repairs, that house sold in 2 days. All it needed was an energetic business feng shui clearing. Maybe you're thinking, ghosts? Dun, 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 dun. That's a fairy tale. Well, it happens all the time, and it always will. And you may be wondering what ghosts and real estate have to do with each other. Everything. Most properties that cannot be sold are haunted. However, they usually sell right after an energetic business feng shui clearing. An energetic business feng shui clearing can be done remotely in another state or even halfway across the world. Energetic business feng shui works for commercial properties, residential properties, and even raw land purchases. One of my principles of energetic business feng shui is where energy flows, money goes.
Yes.
Energetic business feng shui was a system that I created and became interested, first of all, in feng shui. First of all, I became interested in feng shui because when I was a child, I didn't feel safe or have a space of my own. So how one feels in a space became really important to me. And I started studying feng shui and I became a Western feng shui master. And along the way, I found that there were some holes in the world of traditional feng shui. So I created my own system combined with human design and other Reiki and other success systems that I am certified in that works in your personal life, in your career life, and actually it entails everything, because energy is within us and it's around us and it's everything and everywhere. But I combine traditional feng shui with the principles of human design and some other success systems. And to understand what, first of all, feng shui is, well, feng shui is energy.
Okay.
It's a way of working with energy. And it's the electromagnetic energies and frequencies within us and surrounding us. And it also has to do with quantum physics at the most fundamental level. So, and it's really basically comes down to how do you feel in a space?
Right. And that's really important. Explain for a minute to the listeners, what is human design?
Human design is the study of, it's the DNA codes that we were all born with. We all have our own unique human design, and it determines how you function in life and how you communicate. And knowing one's human design, I feel, is essential to ourselves to help us understand who we are and how we function and communicate, as well as others. And it's essential in a workplace in hiring people, because and to create your A+ team. And once you have your A+ team, it's also really helpful to learn how to communicate with each other. And I have lots of stories about how that works and doesn't work if you don't understand human design.
Well, and I think it's really important because you want, everyone has their strengths and you want to highlight on a team their strengths, right?
Right.
And not so much the weakness. To me, it's about bringing their strengths forward because that's what's going to benefit the team.
Right. And it's essential to have everyone in the right position, the right person in the right position with the right compensation.
Yeah. Which is really important because, I was in HR and I wanted to make sure everyone's fine. You know, I love listening to their stories and things like that before I got into real estate. And I realized I just want to make everything good, but there's policies that you have to follow in a business that you and HR, you have to do. And that was hard for me because I wanted everyone to be happy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And so, that didn't last very long. I found something else to do. But you live and learn. And I think that's really important.
Yes.
So as you, the energetic feng shui, how does that help with, you just gave the little story about the home that was haunted, which I totally have had that in the real estate business where I had getting a house listed. My friend, she went through this terrible divorce. The energy of her ex was in the entire house. I went in and staged the house, cleaned it out, helped her do all that kind of stuff because that's what I do. The extra services I do as a realtor because I love that part to help my clients. And I went in and I smudged or saged the entire house. So releasing the energy, the old energy that was in the house, and then blessing the house with love and light and communication and harmony and things like that. In the feng shui business, do you, when you're remote like that in your business, how do you do that instead of not being in the home? Because I was literally in the home doing it, but you said you can do it remotely. Explain to the listeners how that happens.
So when people are, if we're using the example of being in a home and there's a divorce that went on, or actually whenever people change, move out and move in, they leave their energy in the home. And there's also energy from the land that the property was built on. And there's lots of things that have happened before that building was ever built. But once, say, for an example, of someone that's getting a divorce, I found that going in and assessing how the property feels, I can do that remotely. And I'll find where there's blocks or there's another person's energy left in the house. I mean, it can be left from someone dying on the land also. I mean, many homes, my home, for example, is built on American Indian property. And so there was probably lots of wars and maybe massacres that happened. And so there's people that also could be earthbound walking on the land or in your building. When there's a divorce happen, I have found that, I go in and I see how the energy feels, and then I will do an energetic business feng shui clearing remotely. And then I also, after I assess the land and do clearings, the next step is to clean and organize the space. And then the next step is the placement of objects and colors. And if there's a divorce going on, I wanted to use an example of clients that, it always affects your business, especially if you have a family business, or even if it's not a business you have together. It can affect your, let's just say, your financial records, because of, divorces are usually messy. And so there's conflict there, and which is negative energy. So it's really important to do a clearing on both of the people that were living in the home, as well as the space itself, and do a clearing of your financial, your financial records and your assets, your bank accounts, your business. So I believe that we all need clearing within ourselves, as well as our physical space. And and it's not just a one and done thing. It's something that must be constantly done. But when you're talking about a move, someone moving in or out, it's essential that there's a clearing on both people, or the people and the children too.
So the people in the house. So we're about ready to go into our first break, but do you think, like I personally do clearing of my home yearly, the entire energy from last year, 21, release that energy and invite the 22 energy in. Is that something you would recommend for people?
Yes, that's a good idea, Karen.
Thank you.
Everyone should do that. You open the windows and
clear it out.
Clear it out. Yes, I think it's a very good idea to do it yearly, and for your home, your workplace, and yourself. And actually, for yourself, it might be even better to be maybe constantly working on maybe emotional blockages also, or belief systems.
Yes, our truths, right?
Yes,
listeners, our truths. We're getting ready to go into break, but stay tuned. We'll be right back to talk more about feng shui with Deb Wiener. We'll be right back after this break.
All right, great job. We're all clear. Back in a couple.
Okay, thanks. How do you feel?
How's it going? Good. It's good.
Yeah.
How do you think the answers are? I'm hoping to make myself clear. So that's that's my, always my main goal. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does it make sense? Is it
Mhm.
interesting?
Yeah. So when people say feng shui clearing, a lot of them don't understand like what that looks like.
Okay. So let's see. So you did ask me what is energetic business feng shui. Maybe we could I could talk a little bit more how it makes you feel. It really is all about
It's
how
all
you
about the
feel.
energy, right?
It's about the energy, but it's also then, of course, in a business, getting your A+ team, and human design helps you do that. It's also, I can give some examples that might help people. Like I've got a story about how money can go down the toilet. I've kind of got a story about that one. That one goes with this is a good story. How can it help buyers create or buy their ideal home?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go into that. When you were talking about the land, like you lived on Native American land where your house is now,
Mhm.
have you ever dealt with anyone with portals?
Oh, yes, all the time. I just did it Saturday. Yes, because I have portals within my home on my land. And we probably, I don't know if we all do, but a lot of us do, because I've feng shuied my home many times. And there's portals that'll close, but then they're open up again. So
Okay.
yes. Mhm.
All right, coming back in just a few seconds.
Okay, thank you.
You are listening to Now or Never. The choice is yours. To connect with the program today, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is Karen@shinenowornever.com. Let's get back to this week's show. Here again is Karen Wright.
Listeners, welcome back to the show today with Deborah Wiener. We have been talking about the feng shui and the relationship with it, with real estate and with cleansing your home and with your business. As we go into this next half of the show, this part of the show will be sponsored by Donnie Ingram. Donnie is an international best-selling author, speaker, life performance coach, and founder of Ingram Management Group. He is responsible for the development of Engaging for Success, a corporate training program that focuses on human design, communication, and attitude. To find Donnie, reach out to him at Donnie Ingram, INGRAM.com for more information and his coaching style. So, Deborah, as we go into this next part of the show, during break, we're talking about, okay, first of all, I'm totally intrigued with the portals in Native American ground. And I know we just mentioned that how portals happen, they open up and then they close again. And that energy can come forward again and then leave again. During break, you mentioned something about flushing money down the toilet. What does that look like?
Well, Karen, I have a story about how I guide architects to design buildings that create a pleasing, flowing environment.
Okay.
And I make recommendations on the overall design of a building to the intimate details. For example, a building that has 4 corners has an open space because it's not totally closed off. It's not square or rectangular. So that means that it doesn't have stable energy in it. And the fourth side of the building is an empty space where energy can flow out of. And so it's not contained. This missing side causes a leak of energy and could cause relationship, money, and even toilet problems. The plumbing expenditures can become horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put the lids down on your toilet, the money cannot go down the drain. I know a lot of people laugh at that idea. I found it to be true. There was a home that had 10 toilets that I worked on, and they didn't put the toilet seat covers down. And they were always having plumbing problems. And they eventually replaced all the toilets, but they really just needed to put the toilet seat covers down because the money was going down the drain.
Down the
And
drain.
so was their money, because where energy flows, money
It
goes
goes.
down the drain. So does your money go down the drain? So that's my toilet story. But I'm constantly putting little signs up above people's toilets in their workplace or in their home. Please put the toilet seat down.
Yeah. Well, and I've noticed like some like restaurants, the toilet's made without a lid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just the seat part.
Yes, and it would be
Yeah.
interesting to see if that restaurant is doing well.
I
would be-
know.
I would be not surprised if it was not doing well.
That's good to know. And the interesting thing, Deborah, I have heard that before from another energy lady. And so as soon as you said it, I'm like thinking, okay, are my toilet lids up or down right now? During break, I'm gonna make sure they're all shut down. But I have heard that before. And I think that is, I mean, what the heck? Why not try it? What do you got to lose? Right?
Right. And besides that, if you have young kids, as I once did, they can,
Uh-huh.
their cell phones, if you buy them one at too early of an age, could go down that toilet also. I know. I had to buy at least 2 new cell phones.
Yeah, because the lids weren't shut down. Right. Shut the lids.
Right.
Speaking of cell phones, I have a question for you. This is just a random thought, but do you believe cell phones are a portal also?
I do.
Okay.
Any electromagnetic or any electric wires, telephone pole wires, cell phone frequencies, everything's frequencies, and telephone pole wires, cell phone towers, even the wires within your home or business, they emit frequencies, and frequencies are energy. And so it's important to make sure that those frequencies are neutralized, the negative frequencies from those from technology, our computers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you neutralize? When you say neutralize, what does that mean?
There are certain crystals that neutralize the energy. In other words, they will take those negative ions, frequencies, energies, and balance them
Absorb.
or neutralize them, and hold them in a neutral space so they cannot do harm.
So what crystals are those?
Well, hematite is one of them. And yeah, it's a black stone.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also other, let's say, gadgets that you can use. I have like these discs that neutralize energy next to my breakers, the breakers in my home.
Mm-hmm.
I have crystals. You can also use crystals, and then there's wave patches, and there's also frequency machines, which I also own those. And you can set certain frequencies that will neutralize technology.
Okay. Listeners, I hope you're taking note, because all of this is really good information and to help just enhance the environment you live in. So my next question, I want to ask you about buyers. How can feng shui support a buyer on finding their ideal home, their dream home?
So looking at the energy in a home or building will determine if the property feels good, inviting, or it's a place where people will never want to leave. If someone dies in a home, again, their spirit might not want to leave or on the land because they want to be with their loved ones, and so they often remain on the land or in the home or in the space because they might not know how to go through the light to the other side, or they want to remain there thinking that's better. They might not know how to go through the light or be afraid of going through the light. because of fear of the unknown. So, and I send the earthbound spirits to the other side where they can be with their loved ones, and well, they'll be much happier, and where they can continue to learn before they decide to come back and experience life on Earth again. I've been in many homes that were buildings that were for sale, like the client stories I talked about, and the homes again, or the buildings sold immediately right after they had an energetic business feng shui clearing. So the clearing is very important to be able to assess what's been going on in that space, to clear it and to leave fresh, new, positive energy. And the homes usually, and the buildings usually sell, homes, commercial buildings, land usually sells right after the clearing for even higher than the asking price, because the space feels so good that people never want to leave.
Yes. And I think that's really important. When you have a question here, how can someone create their environment in their own home, to where they never want to leave? And it's kind of funny because when I bought my condo, I totally gutted it out and I did me, right? It's the first time I had a space where I could do all of me and bring out my energy and bring out my personality. And when people walk into my home is like my safe haven. I come here and it's just whoosh, peaceful. In fact, I had a girlfriend stand in my door of the office that you helped me a couple weeks ago kind of add to it. And she goes, "This is just such a nice space." She didn't enter in. She stood at the door, which was interesting because I don't know if she didn't feel like she was in a space of mindset to enter into the calmness that this room brings. In her mind, she had just lost her, things were happening in her life. So it was interesting to me. And I just thought of that while I was talking with you about that. How can someone create a space that they never want to leave?
A key factor in energetic business feng shui and in energy is safety. I work with decorators and stagers and clients to discuss safety issues like ceiling fans and the placement of artwork. Those are some examples. Because ceiling fans are generally not good feng shui. They shred your money energy. It's kind of like they cut the energy as they spin, and could be dangerous if not properly fastened to the ceiling. Pictures above your bed, your where you sleep, your headboards, are another safety issue because they could fall on your head, especially while you're asleep. And the artwork that could be above a headboard must be securely fastened to sleep soundly. So in general, it's best not to place artwork or anything above the headboard.
Okay.
Knowing more about energetic business feng shui and energy it helps the work of stagers and decorators become more effective in the sense that cold, empty rooms are not a place where people feel vibrant, and alive, or warm and relaxing. So you want to create an environment, again, a place you never want to leave, where you go, oh, this just feels so good. So colors have energy, and colors are important, and they also have frequencies, and they make a big difference in creating that space that you never want to leave. And they affect how you feel and your mood and how you behave. Like one example is it also could contribute to your motivation, your creativity, and ultimately your success. The shade and the intensity of the color is important because that could affect the energy flow if it's too thick or too bright. And so it could suck in the energy and hold it to be stagnant. An example I have is like a mother, one of my clients had a daughter, a 10-year-old daughter who had behavioral problems. And she was rebellious, combative, and entitled. And they were probably due at least to the fact that she had a bright orange bedroom.
Wow.
And it caused the feeling of being frenetic instead of relaxing. How could she possibly sleep? It was that behavior. Once you changed the paint color, her daughter gradually became more calm, and the girl that she was, born to be, not
Right.
that frenetic and child full of anxiety. And it also can help people with ADD, ADHD. Changing the color, is kind of like a medication. Instead of taking Ritalin, you just change the paint color to something more calm. It seems like, oh, that's too simple, but it does work. It does make a difference.
Yeah, no, I believe that. Just because I felt like going to certain like environments where the walls are dark, I kind of start feeling like it's closing in on me, and I start getting the anxiousness. Or even music will do that to me. Like if the music is very pounding rap and not, if you love it, please don't take offense to this. This is just me. I am more of a calm, like I have the water music playing in the background and just like soothing environment, because I'm more a nature girl. And that's where I feel the calmness.
Yes.
But for everyone, it can be a little bit different, because some people really get into it when it's hard rap or whatever, but I mean, I just know walking into that safe haven, that calmness and cleanliness, I think plays part of that. Don't you think? Like you could walk into a home that's beautifully decorated, but it's cluttered or dirty or too much going on, right?
Yes. Usually those kind of places, you really don't want to walk in. You just want to leave. You just feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You don't feel good, and you might not know why, but it's like, clutter creates stagnant energy. And well, first of all, you can't find anything, and things are not clean, and they're not so clean. In order to have flowing energy, you have to have a clean, safe, clean, organized environment. And then,
Well, as a realtor, when I go in to list a home, I go in and I call it simplifying the home. So we take pictures off the wall, we simplify, we start packing up things that no longer, they need for showing the home. And during that time, I always invite my clients to think if they really need it. This is their time to purge. Like, do you want to pack everything to your next place? Or do you want to be able to go in and give away half your stuff and then pack the rest of the stuff? And I think you have done that with, you're helping people too with their real estate needs. Is that correct?
Yes, I have. It's interesting that you brought that up. I just recently worked with someone who, well, they didn't, of course, we don't want to call people hoarders. Some people just, depends on, where you came from. Maybe you grew up really poor. And so certain things you think, oh, maybe I won't have money to buy that again, or whatever your mentality is. When that occurs, besides cleaning up the space, it's also, if the person is open to changing and looking inside themselves, feng shuiing themselves, basically.
You're right.
Changing the energy inside. It would be nice if they could take a look at why there's so much clutter. Maybe they don't, first of all, have time to clean it up. Maybe they don't have help. But also take a look at your mentality, your mindset. Part of energetic business feng shui is also changing, looking at the energy of your mindset, your belief systems, your perspectives, and how they're holding you back. Are you coming from a survival lack mode, and do you want to go from surviving to thriving, success? So changing your mindset and looking at your emotional beliefs can do that.
I love that. Listeners, we're getting ready. We're going to our next break. Stay tuned and take a note. Are you thriving or striving? Right? Is that what I wanted to say? Yes.
Right.
Right. So we'll be right back with Deborah after this break.
All right, good segment. All clear.
Okay. Thanks, Matt.
Oh, I gotta.
I love it. When we come back into break, can we talk a little bit about like certain colors
Yes.
that help
Yes.
people?
Yes.
And then my other question was like with the fan, I love the fact that because I have ceiling fan in here, my office, except I usually don't have it on.
Mhm.
Because this room's always cold. But then in my bedroom, I always have my ceiling fan going 24/7. And I always have like a floor fan at nighttime blowing on me.
Mhm.
So am I just like totally cutting up all relationships that I could have? We're doing not the financial thing. We're doing now the emotional thing, the love
Right.
relationship thing.
Right. Yeah, the relationships, yeah, that has to do with color and placement of objects. And the ceiling fans, well, I can say this on air to other people too, so they understand too. But what I did with my ceiling fans, I put, oh, how do I explain this? I went online and found these palm, they look like palm leaves, and they
Right.
cover each ceiling fan.
Yeah.
And then I don't use it. So then it looks just like a decorative object. I don't spin it, but I know that there's a need for it when it's hot out. So the floor fan is okay. I mean, it's okay to use those,
Okay.
but also if you have, do you have air conditioning in your home?
Yes.
Okay. Because not all homes or buildings come with air conditioning. So there's always those Mitsubishi, I own some myself, air conditioning units you can place on the wall near the
Right.
ceiling, and
Coming
those
back in
were
about 10
great.
seconds.
Those were
Okay.
great. Yeah.
Thanks, Matt. Okay, so we'll talk about that coming in.
Yeah. What was we were talking about?
Colors.
Colors. Yes.
Colors.
You are listening to Now or Never. The choice is yours. To
My-
connect with the program,
My camera keeps
please call
falling.
us at
Trying to tape it.
1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is Karen@shinenowornever.com. Let's get back to this week's show. Here again is Karen Wright.
Oh.
Listeners, welcome back. We have been speaking with Deborah Wiener about feng shui in the real estate business, in our homes, in our real retailer shops, in our workspace. And it's been so interesting to me. This next part of the show is sponsored by my book, Now or Never, Shine Baby Shine, international bestseller. And it's a memoir on my life story. And the wonderful thing about this book, it was launched a year ago, March, and now it's out in Audible. So you can go to Amazon to buy the book, Barnes & Noble's, Target, or Walmart, along with going on to Audible and downloading it from there. So as we move into this next segment of the show, Deborah, before we go any further, I would love you to share your contact information, how people can get a hold of you with questions or setting up sessions with you, because I think your sessions are amazing. And I had a little taste of it, a little treat, a little hors d'oeuvre, and it was wonderful. So if you could share with the listeners how to get a hold of you, that would be great.
Okay. Well, you can find me at Feng Shui, FENGSHUI, businessconsultant.com or elementsofchange.com. And my email is dwiener at quickscrews.com. I laugh because Quick Screws International Corp is our family business. So it's DWIENER at quickscrewsplural.com. And my phone number, 925-580-0350. You can go onto my website, and to put your email in, you can look at my 15-minute free video, and you can schedule me. I am booked up now not through July, through half of July, but go on and look at my video, and you can schedule me for some free 30-minute consultations, and some sessions.
And I would suggest listeners that you take advantage of this. The 30-minute consultation I was able to do with her, and we worked on my room, my office space, and she told me where to add colors. Deb's like, you need to add color here and there, and certain things that I didn't really think of that I loved. And so speaking of the colors, can we talk a little bit about colors and the importance of the colors and what energy they bring into a space?
Okay.
So do you want me to name a color and you tell me what it is?
Sure. Go ahead.
So let's start with red. To me, red's a very powerful color.
So red is a vibrant energy. I'm wearing red today.
Yes, I know.
And-
That's why I said it.
Red is red has several purposes, and color has energy, and it also has purposes. And in energetic business feng shui, there's 9 elements, which means there's 9 areas of each room that you're in, and each piece of land, each building. It's all the same for each space. But red is a color that, if placed when you walk right into a room, it's what you see first, can bring you acknowledgement and recognition. And we all want to be recognized and seen and heard. And so that can help you in your career, in your life. You know, it's like, stop staying small and trying to hide and be invisible. It's like, come out, be empowered, and it's time. It's now or never. It's time to be seen.
I love it.
And also adding some gold behind it would help. And you could either have red, just red, or gold, or both. That's your straight ahead is your recognition corner.
Okay. And the gold represents the same thing, right? Acknowledgement, recognition. Okay.
Correct.
So that goes hand in hand. What about green?
Green. Green is just a color. Well, I love green because it's plants, trees, flowers, grass. It's like, it's one of my favorite colors. And surrounding ourselves with live plants is very important. Preferably not desert plants like cactus, not pointy things that you could get hurt. You know, even roses are good if you cut the pointy stems off them. They're okay. But anything that's not sharp that hurts, because energetic business feng shui is first and foremost about safety. But green is a color that, if placed on the left side of a space, the left side of the room or space, is all about family. And it's all about creating, and family can mean many different things. It doesn't have to mean your bio family. It could be the family, your tribe. Yeah. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And so it could be your A+ team. Your employees can be your family. So it's all about family. So it's always important to have something green on the left side. When you walk into a room, it's on the left side of the room, in the middle, because there are 9 elements or spaces within each space. I don't know, that may sound confusing, but anyway, that's something I can help you with a consultation.
Okay.
Green flowers, green plants, green candles, green crystals, green tablecloth, green book. The color.
So what about if you're in a room that can't grow? It doesn't have light to grow. So you can use like fake plants, right?
You can use fake plants as long as you keep them clean, because they love to attract dust.
Right?
Yes. So yeah, green, fake plants are okay too, as long as they're clean.
As long as they're clean. Okay. What about the color purple?
Purple, that's our wealth and abundance color. And purple, when strategically placed, can bring you more wealth and abundance. And we all want wealth and abundance. Abundance again can mean abundance of friends, family, support systems. And and wealth, of course, is money, and money creates opportunities, for businesses, for travel, for creating the life you want to live. So we all want wealth. So the color purple is the color to attract wealth.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you bring wealth up in all aspects of life. It's not just the money, it's abundance in all areas of your life, love and light and relationships and, things like that. Because I think a lot of people think of wealth strictly as, the money, the money coming into your life. And energy, money is a good energy.
It is. It is a great energy.
It is. And I think it's very important for people to remember, like just what you said, where your energy goes, your money flows type thing, right? That's what you said, right?
Yeah. And it gives you a more opportunity to be generous to others.
Giving back.
Yes.
It's the whole circle of life. That's all about, like, you're making money and then you're able to give it back to other people the way you want to be able to help other people out. And I think to me, that is just so much fun. And that gratitude and service comes forward.
Yeah, they come hand in hand. Gratitude attracts more of what you desire, and being generous does the same thing.
Yes. So it's great. And we talked a little bit before break about the fans, the ceiling fans. And during the break, I'm like, okay, well, I've got my ceiling fan going 24/7 in my bedroom. And is that cutting up my relationship issues? Okay, listeners, I'm not in a relationship, haven't been for a year, been divorced 8 years. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? So here we go. Self-help care from Deborah to me. Does that affect when the fans are going in the bedroom scene with the relationship? And we only got 4 minutes till we have to close. So
I feel that it could. I feel that it could, but I don't feel that it's the main reason why. Again, the placing of objects, cleaning out the energy, looking at yourself, maybe some emotional issues that might be tied to what you're attracting, maybe cleaning those up and transforming the negative perspective to a positive one. Healing your traumas and your wounds are also important. So the ceiling fan itself, I don't think is responsible for all of that. And yes, they can be used. It's just make sure it's securely fastened to the wall. Hopefully it's not right above your eyes when you're looking up from bed. And, it's not like they're just never to be used. Just keep them clean, tightly fastened to the wall. And as far as relationship issues, I can help people with that. I've attracted new businesses for people, new relationships, new partnerships. So that's another, I'm explaining what energetic business feng shui can do for you. It's titled business, but it's actually helping with all forms of energy in any within us and without, within and without, everywhere.
Yes. And I think that's why I love the fact that we've talked more in this segment about how it helps with the real estate world, with homes, with buyers, with sellers, with architects, about planning and doing all that. And I feel this is very important for people to understand and to learn. And as you said, staging a home or designing, you can help people do that with their homes that they have just purchased or things like that. So not every realtor will go in and help their clients stage and do the extra things that I do, which I love. So this is where Deborah comes in handy, because this is what Deborah can do, and she can do it remotely, wherever you live.
Yes.
You just get her on the phone, flip around, you walk her in the room and show her the room. And that's how she helped me. And so I really appreciate that. We've got just a couple of minutes before we need to close the show. But before we end, Deborah, I would love you to a word of advice to give to our listeners today. As we continue on this new, April is coming, spring is in the air. And what would you tell my listeners?
See, listeners, are you open to change? Are you open to changing yourself? Are you open to changing your space? Are you ready to create the life, the business, and the relationships of your dreams? It's now or never with energetic business feng shui. Where energy flows, money goes.
I love it. Listeners, as we conclude the show, remember our affirmation for today. Yes, I live my truth now. The breath is a gift of life. Choose now and live. Remember, this world is not for sissies. We're here to experience our own story as we each walk our personal journey. Have an amazing day, and thank you for choosing to be here now. Until next week, sending you all love and light.
All right. Awesome job today. All clear.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, you too. Deb, that was great. Good job.
Thank you.
You were very at ease. And I know you said you were a little bit nervous going in, but you did amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know your gifts that you offer people are amazing. It can help. So
Oh,
kudos
thank
to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And I don't really have to always I don't have to have a Zoom session with somebody. I can do it. Well, it does help if I can see, if it's Zoom or
The space.
FaceTime, but I can also do things remote.
Yeah,
without
what they call it, like proxy style, right?
my proxy. Yes, I have. I studied remote viewing with CIA agents at the Monroe Institute in back east, and so we were trained to remotely scan things, and that helped me. That helped me develop my, let's just say, detailed sense of intuition.
I love that.
So
Yeah. Yeah, you're amazing. So I appreciate you and you spending the time with us today. It's been great.
thank you.
So good. So Shannon has sent you the link on that email. So the show will be recorded and syndicated out probably by the middle of today. So you can
Okay.
share it out tonight or tomorrow and invite people to come. And then that is yours. You have your link, so you can use that for your website. If you want to take segments out of what you've done, feel free to use that however, you want to. So it'll be great. And then the month of April, I will share out your information to my listeners like I did with Donnie's Ingram's. Okay.
Mhm.
So I will do that next week, and probably, I don't know if I'll go back to back. Would you want me to go back to back or put a week in between? What do you want me to do with that? What feels right?
Why? Back to back with Donnie's, you mean?
No, Donnie's, like during the show, I will, do a shout out for you and your services and how people can get a hold of you. So do you want me to do it like this next week and the following week? Or you want me to do like the 6th and the 20th and the 20th?
Oh, maybe it's better to spread it out. That way we keep it going.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds
That would
good.
be better.
So I'll make note of that to make sure I do that on the 6th and the 20th for you. And it'll be just, so every podcast that I have, because I do it in my show, is recorded. So people will hear me say, okay, a couple weeks we had Deborah Wiener up on their show and and kind of highlight you. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay.
And
perfect.
then so are you on every day? No, are you on every day?
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday at 10.
Yeah.
So when's Donnie? He was on last Wednesday?
Donnie was on at the beginning of the month of March.
So if I want to see him, where do I go to find him? Just go on
his website is donnieingram.com.
Oh, just go on his website. Then I'll find him. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, if I want to work with you again, then just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great. Yeah, I would love you to. Just reach out to me and we can just go from there. And yeah, I'm just excited. This has just been so much fun. And I love working with men too, but the women in my life, like the empowerment that we can give each other, I think is really important in society right now and in humanitarian. So it's been great.
Yeah. And I'd love to work with you in some other aspects in the future. Let me know if there's anything I can do for real estate or
yes,
or areas of your life, because I I really am very good. And I love working with real estate. So, yeah.
Yes, I love that. I know I'm going to need to do some sessions with you to make sure my home is right. I mean, I feel like it is, and I know I love what you said about, the emotional baggage and things like that. Cause I've been working on myself for the last, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. And I feel like I've released a lot, but I know there's always, you continually have to release, and just noticing like with relationships and stuff, the attraction that I'm bringing into my life are segments of what I was married to for 28 years.
Yeah.
And so I'm becoming more aware. So awareness is very important to me, and understanding it. And so it's been kind of an eye opener for me for the last, couple of years, because I'm starting to be able to look into it without feeling hurt, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I was single I was single. I got married when I was 38 years old. So, I went through lots of relationships, and sometimes I saw patterns, and that not just male relationships, but even throughout my life with female friends or people I hire to do things with, to work with, coaches and things. I was attracting the same people over and over again with different faces. It was just, so I was going, what am I doing? And so, I'm still discovering it. I just was looking at boundaries yesterday, and then within my success systems portfolio, there's Enneagrams. That's another thing to look at. What type of Enneagram are you? And I found out I was called a helper. And then I found out I was over helping, which is crossing boundaries. I never looked at it like that. And I go, oh my God, no wonder. I was like, I was trying to save everyone, well, except myself. I need to work on me and save the world. I can't save everyone. And some people, they didn't even ask to be saved. And I was overstepping boundaries. It's like all these little discoveries we have along the way. Then it's like aha moments. And then we go, oh, no wonder. And then we can change.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's just like you said, being aware and being open. I love the fact you used open with my listeners, like keep an open mind, keep an open heart, keep openness so you can have that awareness. And it's interesting. My word for this year is surrendered and allowed to receive.
Yes.
And so to me, surrender and openness kind of go hand in hand. You can surrender, but you still have to be open to allow it to receive. Yeah.
I mean, again, another example is blocks. I found I had big, huge steel, not the physical ones, but
Right.
blocks, protecting my heart because of all the traumas that I had been through. And I'm still working on those traumas, but I found out I wasn't open to receive because I thought that by blocking my heart, that was protecting me. And so anyway, working on that, that's an inward thing to work on, and that, you have to be open to look at your stuff, what's happened to you. Once you can see it and understand it, you can release it.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've heard too, sometimes you will never know the why of things that happen. Do you believe in that or no?
I always believe there's a why.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe, and some people have said to me, you don't need to understand it. And I disagree with that. I believe, for me, I want to understand it. And then I can go, even to forgive people. I go, understand how they were brought up, what happened to them, maybe it created how they are. Not that that's okay, but oh, that's why they were this way. So I can have some empathy, and then I can forgive instead of just wanting to, get back at them.
Strangle them.
And that doesn't help anything. It just actually hurts us more than it hurts them. Yeah. So.
Right. They don't know. I mean, that was a huge thing, letting go and forgiving my ex, because it's so funny. There's 3 sides to a story: his, hers, and the truth. right?
Yes.
So my image of the relationship was my way. His image was his way. Right or wrong, it doesn't matter. That's how we saw things. And then there's the truth, right? And so I always joke around about that. It's like, this is my story the way I see it. You have your story the way you see it, your journey, your life. And people looking in or people next to you will say, well, no, it's like when you see an accident, the cop talks to all the witnesses because every person saw it differently.
Right.
And it doesn't make it right or wrong. It just is how they saw it. And so I try to remember that in life. It's like, there's no right or wrong. It's just how you see things.
Right. And that is totally true. And you talk that story, that example of the accidents is true. Just like the media, they edit out things that happen in a certain event and only show you what they want you to see. So you form a perspective or opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So I love life. It's just interesting. Every day is like a brand new day and things are always happening and evolving. And it's like, okay, this is good.
There's so much to learn and so much to do. And it's like, yeah, it is. I think it's fun learning and growing. I mean, I'm a lifelong learner. I will,
That's me.
I think that's part of the joy.
That's how I am too. In fact, I just started a shaman course. So I can learn to become a shaman and what that's about. And then it's a 7-month course. And then I will be able to teach it or something afterwards if I want to. But to me, I've always been so intrigued with that. Native Americans, I'm just I love. But come find out, shamanism comes from India, which I didn't know. And I was like, oh, okay. Just about everything has evolved from India. It seems like all the energy and the healing stuff has come from India, which is pretty empowering.
I'm a shaman also. And so we can talk shamanism,
I would love to.
I was taught, there's Peruvian shamanism, there's different people different teachings. And again, I have also incorporated shamanism into my energetic business feng shui system. I don't know if that's a good name for it, but that's just what I came up with along the way.
Yeah.
But shamanism has got, it's about looking at your issues, illuminating it. That means illuminating it, bringing it up, looking at it, seeing it, and then knowing it, and then clearing the chakras are involved, and intuition is involved in clearing it. And then there's the shadow side we all have, and most people don't want to look at that side. And then we have, and then there's dreams, and then there's I love it. So I'm happy you're doing that. So we'll have something else in common.
I know I am so excited. And I love the fact you bring up the shadow part. I had a guy who he paints your colors, and the core, so it's a circle, and the core of me was black with gray and gold through it. It's almost like a birthing canal, like the birth, like, of the woman's womb. Wow. And then I had colors, and he's like, never have I painted something that has been so symmetrical and balanced all the way out. And he goes, I don't use black or gray very often in a person. He goes, but because of your trauma and all the things you've been through, you have still illuminated those into a light and that love that you're able to have the empathy or the sympathy for other people because you've experienced so much. And so at first when I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's black. But black is beautiful, and that's the way a lot of people look at it, like it's an evil or a bad thing, but it's not. Those are wounds or scars that we will carry on for life, and they've made us who we are today. And to me, that's the beauty of the shadow.
Right.
You have to have the shadow with the light. It just goes hand in hand, the yin and the yang, black and the white. It goes together. And I love just letting people know it's like, there's no darkness.
No.
Well,
light overcomes darkness, and absence. Look, is the absence. Black is the absence of color. There's which actually becomes light. So Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's-
And light is full of all the colors.
yes. Yes.
So it's quite interesting to me. Like I just love all of that. The whole energy world to me is just continues to open up, and I just feel like I'm just barely teaspooning what there is out there.
I've been looking, I mean, I have like, a list of credentials I have because I love to learn. And so I have studied so many modalities, but I was hiding. I mean, when I studied sound healing back in 2000, I mean, there was, I'm a Reiki master. I've studied so many things, but I've been in hiding because
Mhm.
the world wasn't ready for them.
Right.
So now they are.
So
Yes.
we hit 2000, the 5D came forward. So everyone's going inward to finding out what they're made out of. And I think this is where the light people are now moving forward and opening up and sharing their gifts to others, just like you're doing. And I think it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
It's all about inspiring and waking people up to the truth, actually,
Mhm.
to the truth. Yeah.
Right.
Even if it's ugly, even if it hurts.
Yeah. It's like I say, you own what you've done and no one can talk crap about you.
Yes.
Because then it doesn't matter. You're like, well, okay. Yeah. What else do you want to know?
Right. We can all change if we want to, if we're open, right?
Right.
Nothing happens. Oh, let's say nothing happens if not, I'll say nothing changes if nothing changes. What is that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the only thing that is changing is change.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have that one thing that is never changing is always changing. I have that written up on my closet.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's true. It's true. So, well, thank you so much for being here with us today. Like, I just appreciate you.